Good evening and welcome to Poetry Corner. I'm your host, Betty Pryor. Tonight we have one of America's busiest authors, Marge Piercy. I'd like to thank Marge for joining us here in our little corner tonight.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you so much for having me.
Now, Marge, you have said that you would like your writing, particularly your poetry, to be useful. Could you explain to us exactly what you mean by that?
And what I mean by useful is that the reader would remember bits and pieces of my poems in a stressful or quiet moment, and that my poems may give voice to an experience in their life.
Oh, that is lovely, and I'm sure that your poems have done that for many people. I know they have for me.
Well, thank you, Betty. You just paid me a great compliment.
But it's true. Now, moving on then, you have been called a feminist. Tell us a little about that.
Yes, I do consider myself a feminist. Why? Well, because I was born a woman, and I can't imagine not wanting to make things safer and better for myself and for all women.
Well said. So, when did you start writing?
Well, I think that would be when I was about 15, and I finally got my own room with a door, and so I finally had some privacy, and that helped me to begin writing.
Oh, yes, privacy. A very important commodity indeed for a young girl. Now, in those early days of writing, which writers influenced you the most?
Well, I think I'd say Emily Dickinson and Walt Whitman. Yes. I also read and was influenced by many of the romantic poets, Byron, Keats, Shelley, just to name a few.
Aside from your poetry, you've also written quite a few novels. Can you please explain to us what is the difference between writing poetry and writing fiction?
Poetry comes more directly from my life, whereas fiction is more about it embodies the choices I didn't make, the paths I didn't follow.
So poetry is more what you know, and fiction is more what you want to know.
Yeah, poetry is far more passionate and intense, and each novel is more like a small world that I inhabit when I'm writing it.
Ooh, interesting. Now, do you write both at the same time?
Usually I do, but not in the same day. In the same block of time, I would alternate between writing poetry and fiction.
Well now, as a published author, do you have any advice for aspiring young writers?
My advice would be to read. Read all the time. You can pick up a lot of techniques from other writers. You can learn the how from reading other writers. The what comes from you, and you should never stop learning. So I can't stress enough how important it is to read all the time.
So true. Oh dear, it looks like we're out of time. I want to thank you for joining us, Marge, and I do hope you'll come again.
That would be great. I'd love to. Thank you, Betty.
Well, that's all for today, my friends. So until next time, ta-ta!